What was the first video you made?
And that series was called Authentic or Charlatan.
Oh, okay.
That was where the series really started. I released it December 2nd, 2019. I think was the first day. It was the first episode was on
you were
Danlock.
making content before that.
I was, yeah. I'd been making content for a few years, just trying to figure out what worked or what. I had started January 2015. And so it had been almost 5 years of putting out content. I started in January 2015. This was when YouTube was a way different space. It was like way more. This was almost before Logan Paul. Think of how crazy that is.
Wow.
And so at the time, fitness was starting to take off, and I wanted to be a fitness influencer. And so I started making videos in the gym, and I just was not as good as the people that were making content in the fitness space at the time. And so that didn't really work out. And then I started making content about my boot camp experience because no one was doing that. And so then that was the first time I started getting like 300, 500 views for a video.
Boot camp?
Yeah, so I did what's called a coding boot camp. This was the 12-week program up in the Bay Area where I took this program to leave my sports job to then go into programming. It was like this middle ground where you don't need a CS degree, computer science, and you could take these 12-week boot camps where they'd help you. The sales pitch was that they'd help you become developer ready or software engineer ready in 12 weeks, and then you can transition into a new career in the tech space. So anyway, I started making those videos, and then I started into the real estate and kind of personal finance videos, and none of them really took off until summer of 2019. I had one video that I released, and I was really bummed about its performance. I thought it would be the best video I ever put out. I thought it was the one video that I could okay, if I can get views with this video, maybe I have a chance to be a YouTuber, and it bombed. Did not get any views, and I was so bummed, and I was thinking about quitting so much. But it was a video about buying my fourplex here in town that I bought on a seller finance deal. It's called Owner Will Carry. And that video bombed. And I was so bummed. I was like, okay, I don't have what it takes to make it on YouTube. I got no chance. And then fast forward like 2 months, somehow, for some reason, it started to pick up. And it got maybe 2,000 views after a couple months. Then all of a sudden it hit 70,000 views in a month. And for me, that was insane, like the first taste of success. And so at that moment, I realized, okay, I don't have what it takes not to be successful. I can be successful. It's just I need to refine the right formula. And that was the video that kind of kept me going. And thankfully it was, I don't remember the exact timeline, but it was probably a month later when I found that CoffeeZilla video. And that kickstarted it.
Were you making other kind of videos on real estate while at the same time doing the Authentic or Charlatan series?
Kind of, yeah. I started with Authentic or Charlatan, and that was a series that was very much influenced by Dave Portnoy. He does the pizza reviews, or like the daily pizza reviews. And I kind of wanted to mix that in with, like, is this guy an authentic guru or is he a charlatan, and give him a score. That's where it all started. The first like episode or two, I give people a score. So you'll see that was very much influenced by Dave Portnoy. But at the time, I was still trying to figure out what worked because I didn't want to only make videos on this specific content. I also talked about like why athletes, what they should invest in. Like I did a video on Joe Burrow after he got drafted, and Zion Williamson is a very popular basketball player. I made videos on why they should invest their money in a certain way so they don't go broke. So I was trying all these different styles of video. Even at the time, I didn't know that was going to be the thing.
What was it was there a particular video that popped off, or a particular guru that was like the first one that broke you into that space?
Episode 1. Yeah, the Dan Lok one. Because at this time, he was way more popular than he is today. And CoffeeZilla had only made one video on him at the time. And I was like, oh, this guy's interesting. I've seen his ads. Something doesn't rub me the right way. Like, he just doesn't seem like a legitimate business owner. And so that was the first episode where I just found a bunch of inconsistencies listening to a lot of his podcasts. Is I could listen to 4 podcasts and his story doesn't really match up. Some of the numbers don't match up. I'm like, this is odd. And it wasn't even like an exposed video or an attack video. It was just, here's what I found. I'm sharing it with you in a 15-minute video. That video performed way better than all my other videos performed. And so it's clear that I had something, but I didn't fully jump into the like expose or fake guru niche. I felt like till months later.
And you made more videos of Dan, right?
I made a couple more, yeah. Over time.
Interesting guy. Wasn't he? His thing was like he wanted people to call him like Shifu or something.
Yeah, Sifu.
Sifu.
Apparently, I believe it's in Chinese. That means master, I think is what it is.
I thought they were calling him the Sifu Bader.
I'm sure he's got a lot of nicknames if you ask enough people.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude. And then you made more videos on him. Do you like the guy?
I don't know anything about him, so I try to withhold judgment of people I make videos on. I try to be very objective. You know, I don't know any of these people personally. That's why I try to only go after something they've done publicly, whether that's a certain business practice, a certain way of selling. That period of my life, all my videos were targeted at the way people marketed or sold, because I thought there was a lot of scaminess in the internet marketing space, as I'm sure you can talk about.
If Dan was sitting across from me, like right now, like what would you say to him?
I'd be really curious if he had seen my videos and if there was anything that was wrong. That'd be my first question. Assuming he wouldn't know off the top of his head what was wrong, I'd probably ask some of the questions about his backstory. Like, what was your experience in copywriting or selling or running a legitimate business before becoming a business master and making all the money selling how to start a business and whatnot?
Dan, come in now.
Yeah, that would be an epic podcast.
We just have like
I might be a little underdressed, you know.
Just like
we're not in a
line
Bentley.
you up again with,
We're
like,
not in a Bentley. Remember that? He's got the backseat of a Bentley. Yeah, maybe if we were in a Bentley, we could talk to him.
So he lives in Vancouver, which is where I'm from originally. And I'm glad that we took separate paths in life, and I didn't go down the path.
He's crushed it though. Like the thing with the fake gurus is if your goal is to make money, if that's the only thing that matters to you in life is making money, they all won. He won. He got past. He faked it till he made it, and then when he made it, he's actually like positioned himself now as some business expert. I think he runs a business startup fund or accelerator or something.
I see that. I don't know though. Like he if you're making your money from selling courses and then like his credibility went out the window, like he can't keep selling courses, so he does have to have real businesses. I don't see him actually doing anything. Like I haven't really kept too close of eyes on him, but
yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. So besides Dan, is there any other fake gurus that were like big in kind of your journey into growing your channel to be so popular?
Yeah, well, the first few episodes, of course, are super important. Ty Lopez, Robert Kiyosaki, Dan Lok were super big. I think the sports bettors are where I started to like carve out my niche within that overall genre of fake gurus, because those are the people that I felt like I had a unique skill set to kind of make videos on, and very few people were making videos on them. One thing I tried to avoid is just targeting like the easy targets like Grant Cardone, Dan Bilzerian. I never made videos about those guys and it quote unquote exposed them because I just didn't think there was any value there. And so I never really had like that pop moment where it's like I went after one guy and exposed them and it became like a massive, massive ordeal. I don't remember ever doing that. I mean, the way I see it, I never really enjoyed this concept of expose. Like, I don't want to be TMZ. I've always felt like there's an element of grossness to it, even though we still click. Like, sometimes TMZ is like, gotta know, gotta click. But I just don't like being that guy. And so I've done it when appropriate, where I felt like it was appropriate if someone was selling something like very clearly people were being damaged and people didn't know. I felt like it was kind of a moral obligation to do that. However, I always kind of wanted to be like a storyteller. And I could look at someone who's maybe public and saying all these things, but if I know something like, hey, this guy actually isn't as legitimate as he thinks, or here's something you may not know, but his real estate fund doesn't make any money. Like these things, I would rather tell those stories where it's not as much expose, it's more of just an uncovering.
Interesting. Thanks for checking out this short clip from the full podcast I did. If you want to see another clip, go ahead and click the link right here. Or if you want to see the full podcast, you can click the link right here and check it out.